Good morning. I'm going to change my mind on the ballroom. And it's worse than I thought. I'm going to show you what blocking out China has done to the world. And I'm going to explain why you don't fight wars on multiple fronts. But first up, go check out this video on YouTube. It's really important. Yeah, I was sucked in by this title. I wasn't expecting much. Then I started watching it. Wow. If you remember one AI disaster, make it this one. That's the name of the video. All right, let's talk about Canada's future. Mark Carney was at the Asia Pacific Summit. And one of the biggest things to come out of that is Mark Carney had a conversation with Xi Jinping. Canada must absolutely rebuild their relationship with China because the relationship with the United States has gone to shit. Mark Carney said that the era of free trade and investment is over, specifically the free trade between Canada and the United States. It is, let's face it. In Trump's first term, he killed NAFTA, and now he's done his best to kill CUSMA. And there won't be a renegotiation. It's done, it's over. I want to use Huawei as an example of why you should think these things through before you act. China's Huawei turns U.S. pressure into a competitive advantage. You remember a few years ago, we arrested a Huawei executive on behalf of the United States. That didn't go well. I'm going to show you a map where Huawei is being used. This color, the blue, is where it's banned. This yellow is where it's being phased out. And the orange is where it's in use. The world is rather orange. If you zoom in here to Europe, that's where it's being phased out because some European nations are looking to homegrown services to replace Huawei, like Germany. The point being, the strong arm approach didn't really do what it was intended to do. If you can't beat them, join them. And we sure as shit can't join the US. All right, now why you don't fight wars on multiple fronts as the United States sends the Navy and the military into the Caribbean to potentially attack Venezuela this weekend. Now, it's important. The U.S. actually has a point on this. Nicolas Maduro is not the legitimate leader of Venezuela. And while everyone rains hate down on Maria Corina Machado, the leader of the opposition in Venezuela, just remember, nobody else came to help them. I have said there are many parallels between Venezuela and Vietnam. This is exactly what happened in Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh went to Kennedy first, asking for help. Kennedy said no, because, you guys are kind of communist. I can't really get involved. So Ho Chi Minh turned to the Chinese and the Russians. And that kicked off the war. Venezuela has been in need of help for about a decade now, and nobody has come to help them. What did you expect was going to happen? Anyway, I digress. The point is, this fleet is the biggest fleet in the Caribbean since the Cuban Missile Crisis. You remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the world thought everything would go boom? This is the biggest fleet in the Caribbean since then. Yes, I know, the United States military is very big, very powerful. They spend a lot of money on it. But you still don't fight wars on multiple fronts. And while the United States is over here in Venezuela, China will move into Taiwan. I am confident in saying this because the United States is constantly having war games with the Philippines to try and choke off China if they happen to take Taiwan. And remember, Taiwan is home to TSMC. The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, is estimated to control 70% of the world's chip market. That's all the chips. And 90% of the most advanced chips. And remember, Nicolas Maduro has pleaded for peace. Pleaded. He has said he will do anything to avoid a war. Yeah, he was on national TV in Venezuela, pleading. The U.S. is in the perfect position to take care of this diplomatically without hurting any more people. Will they? And while they're playing army men in the Caribbean, China's going to take over Taiwan. Because all the people making decisions will be looking at something else. Speaking of looking at something else, I'm going to change my opinion on the East Wing. I don't think it's a bunker. I had a video the other day talking about it. The numbers just don't make sense as a ballroom. So it's something else for sure. But the numbers didn't even make sense as a bunker. Like $300,000 per 100 square feet? That seems really high. Unless you're building a data center. Because those racks ain't cheap. Coincidentally, big tech helped bankroll the East Wing destruction. Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, and Google have a lot riding on their relationship with the Trump administration. They all cut checks for the ballroom. Ballroom. Oh, and Trump sacks U.S. government architects. The people that would be overseeing the construction, making sure the design was all in line with the way it should be. Yeah, no one's going to be overseeing that. What could the White House possibly want with their own data center? The possibilities are endless, really. Like I said, there's one thing that's for sure. It's not a ballroom. Is it a bunker? Is it a data center? It's something. And it ain't a ballroom.